starting in prayer, right?
It's the only place to start. I'm already preaching, okay? Method acting.
Okay.
Here we go. It's the Bible reloaded, logic explosion. Like Jesus and Moses, but it's Hugo and Jake. The Bible is jaded, and most of it taken. So get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up and stop what you're doing. It's Bible reloaded time. They call it debated, the theists will hate it. Like talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So on with the show then. It's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake. With
Hello, everyone. I'm Hugo.
Oh, I was just studying my Bible.
Very casually.
Very casually studying my Bible. It happens to be open to exactly what we're reading today,
That's impressive.
which is the rest of the Sermon on the Mount, starting with prayer. So we'll be discussing the ways to talk to God today.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. We'll also be seeking, in random order, treasure. Treasure's good. Lying. Building things. Carpentry, probably. And gate manufacturing. So yeah, these are good things. Gate design. So if you're a gate major in college right now, and you avoided one of those feminazi courses, and you picked a trade like a real American man, in gates, then you'll be you'll be very interested in this episode. Smash that like button.
I apologize. Here we go. Matthew chapter 6, verse 5.
Prayer. This is Jesus talking the whole time, for the record. Not me. Okay? Good. And when you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by others. Truly, I tell you, they have received their reward in full. That's pretty passive-aggressive.
A little bit. This is going to get into something that I think we touched on a little bit last time.
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus is here going to talk about not being someone who outwardly says to everyone, I am holier than thou, I pray all the time. Not to outwardly express yourself via religious practice. Basically, he's saying, don't be a show-offy religious piece of shit.
I can't.
For the sake of it.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of a single Christian who doesn't keep it to themselves. That's good job, Jesus. Advice taken. We have job security. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. Same.
Yeah.
Because he's just not around.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
I get it. You and your dad have issues, I understand.
Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. That makes my dad sound a little more creepy than that makes him, honestly, if he cared that much to peep on me while I'm praying alone in my room, that'd be more than he ever did. And when you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him.
So why ask? He just wants you to do it. It'd be like, remember that episode? Okay, the Star Trek The Next Generation episode, Chain of Command, in which
you know the names of the episodes?
Irrelevant to this discussion. Alright, Admiral? Captain Jellicoe comes onto the Enterprise as the interim captain while Jean-Luc Picard is being held against his will, doing the "there are 4 lights" thing. Either way, he comes onto the Enterprise, starts being like, hey, Troy, guess what? You need to wear a uniform because you are in the military.
I know that one, and she's like, no, I was written to be the sexy character.
And he's like, don't care, it's season what, 4 now? Get the uniform on. And Riker's all mad because basically...
He can't look at titties.
Jellicoe is just being like, hey, I know Captain Picard, likes you guys and you're friends, but we're, on the cusp of maybe a war right now. We need to,
We need to button up.
do your goddamn jobs. We're essentially a military organization, even though Starfleet has decided for some reason that they're not. They are.
We're not a military organization, just like how Greenpeace arms themselves with photon torpedoes.
Sure. Jellicoe then needs Riker to run some sort of mission to help stop a war that could kill millions of people. Billions, maybe. It's a space war. So...
when are we gonna circle around to the...
We're getting there.
Okay.
Anyway, so Jellicoe needs Riker to do this thing. Riker doesn't like Jellicoe.
Because of the titties.
Right. So Riker's like, you could order me to do it, but I want you to ask me.
Does he say that?
Basically. So, this forces Jellicoe, even though they both know what needs to be done, and both know what is going to be done, he just wants him to beg because it makes him feel powerful. Riker's an asshole in this episode a little bit. I get it. He lost his captain. We've all been there. But, the point is... God is Riker in this scenario.
Okay!
It's an implied...
We got there.
It's a scenario in which we both understand, but for some sort of odd, archaic power dynamic, he requires you to beg him. It's like if you went to your boss, and your boss knew your wife, let's say, had cancer.
Okay.
And you both know I don't have the money to cover this. And the boss is like, I know you need an advance in your salary for those treatments. Why don't you ask me? It's kind of like that. And thus ends my extended Star Trek metaphor, which I then superseded with a much more brief, better metaphor. I've been watching Star Trek lately.
This is the quality content you have all come for. Jesus adds, because of course he was talking.
Was he on TNG or TOS? I don't remember that character.
Fuck off. He was played by John Delancey. This, then, is how you should pray. Our Father, in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done.
Is there a reason you're doing weird inflections on the
That's
Lord's
how it's
Prayer?
read.
Why are
I've never recited this in my life, and I refuse to do so. Moving on.
Okay.
And I love, my favorite part of this prayer that y'all said at some point in your lives, and I was
Catholic,
able.
that's a Catholic thing.
Whatever. You know it though, right?
No.
No?
I was a Protestant, like a real red-blooded American.
Okay. Well, so, hallowed be your name. That's like the first 3 commandments. Okay, we get it. Kingdom stuff. Okay, fine. Earth is okay. Yeah. Give us today our daily bread. Okay, so asking God for stuff. And then immediately forgive us our debts.
Yeah.
And we forgive our debtors. Why is...
Christians aren't allowed to partake in usury, which would be the giving of loans for interest. The business of being in the loan business. Basically banking. Which is why, this is actually very interesting. I think we've talked about this
Why
before.
the Jews run the world!
That's how Alex Jones would put it. The actual reason why...
the Jews!
Can we not Alex Jones this? This is why, long time ago, when Christians still followed what the Bible kind of said, they still follow it, they followed different parts. They followed the no usury part, which allowed a lot of Jewish families to get into banking, and then over generations it became, banking, basically families. And that started the stereotypes against Jews about that kind of stuff. Really unfortunate. And basically the Christians did it to themselves. And they were like, you can't be a banker. Also, be mad at those people who can do the thing we're telling you
it
can't
says
do.
specifically, we have forgiven our debtors. I just found it interesting that it's the Lord's Prayer. Don't, you hide your faith to yourself. But while you're there, let them know about that debt because we can't bank. So we can't follow through with this shit.
The debt in other versions is also forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against ourselves. Debt and trespass here means essentially people who commit ill will or slights against you. Basically, God, forgive me.
Like Riker.
Forgive me of my sins, as I should forgive others.
Gotcha. For if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others their sins, your Father will not forgive your sins. So he's not a nice guy.
No.
Not a nice guy. Because he created humans to be like, hey, that pissed me off.
Sure.
He should know things about humans.
Also, if you do not forgive others for their sins, your Father will not forgive you for your sins. Christians, if you're homophobic or transphobic,
Yikes!
you're going to hell.
That's pretty good, though. I like that.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
if they're going to do it, and it's real,
Yeah,
pretty dope.
be punished.
Yeah, sure.
In that case, no one's going to heaven.
Nope.
Mr. Rogers, maybe.
He was a good dude.
He was religious and
Yeah.
not an asshole.
Bob Ross?
I don't know his religious
I
status.
think he was, well, he talked to, well, when he cleans his brush, he says, beat the devil out of it, and he goes, haha.
Yeah.
Have you watched Bob Ross streams?
I have.
Oh, boy. Have you watched the Twitch stream?
No.
It's a thing Sarah and I do a lot. Basically,
There's
there's
live
it's
chat.
for the chat. You could go to YouTube and go chilling with Bob Ross or Bob Ross classics. Either is fine. Chilling are the winter scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you go to twitch.tv/Bob Ross or whatever the fuck it is, Bob stuff happens, and then the chat interacts. So there's a devil counter. So every time he beats the devil out of it, they count it. And there's also cabin chance. What do you think cabin chance is?
Perhaps maybe they try and guess, is this scene going to have a cabin?
Yes.
And then, oh wow, that was a good guess.
Yes.
And then I chant in the chat for like cabin. Or
Kind of
something.
like that. So you cheer for a cabin.
Okay.
And then, if he puts any marks on it that don't look good immediately, it's ruined. But then, it's immediately saved. Because Bob Ross is magic.
Now then, the most fun part of this whole painting technique is washing the brush. So let's wash the brush. We do that with odorless paint thinner. And I have a screen in the bottom of this can so we can scrub the bristles against the screen and the solid material sort of settle to the bottom, keeping the paint thinner relatively clean. I will shake it off and then just beat the devil out of it. As I say, that has to be the most fun part of the whole technique.
Anyway, go watch Bob Ross. He's better than Jesus. Moving on to fasting. Whew. Not experts in this field, but we'll do our best.
I know a lot about the opposite of this.
I know people do this. It's kind of like jousting. I've never jousted,
But I know-
but I get the gist.
You get the joust.
Kill me, dead. Fasting. When you fast, whew, that's pretty presumptuous. Do not look somber as the hypocrites do. There's a reason emaciated desert Jews look somber when you make them not eat more than they've already not eaten.
They're hungry.
They're very hungry. For they disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting.
You ever do a spite fast?
Yeah.
Look at how holier than thou I am.
Didn't
help.
That's not what.
More fish face.
I love the idea that not only do we just know the gist of fasting, we also know the gist of skinny people.
It's like
Is it fish? They're like us, but less.
I need to lose weight.
All right. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it will not be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father who is unseen, and your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. The oil, that's like moisturizer and shit. Sometimes it helps your hair out. People were greasy. People were very, very greasy.
Human beings are intrinsically greasy for most of human history.
I'm not, but I have a deficiency in grease. That's why I'm trying to subsidize with bacon and it doesn't work.
Oh, okay. Your sebaceous glands have some issues.
I don't have many sebums. Treasures in heaven. I imagine this is going to be like Jesus pirate ship stuff.
I hope so. If Jesus was a pirate, he'd be
Holy
the best
shit.
pirate.
Dude, pirate Jesus? I can get behind that.
Okay.
He could hold his hand in different directions as they sailed to make different whistles to make calls.
He could part the sea on other boats, but that's
That
bad.
was-
That's
that
bad.
was Moses.
No, Moses was proxy using God powers.
You think
Jesus
Jesus has all the powers?
Yes! Jesus is that asshole kid when you were playing pretend as a kid. He'd be like, no, I have a shield, so you can't shoot me.
You ever had someone play rock, paper, scissors with you and then say fireball like a douchebag?
No.
Well,
I have either no friends or better friends than that.
that's exactly what you should have. We all grow out of Fireball Kid at some point.
Okay.
And then he's alone. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moths and vermin destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moths and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not... Okay. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So I think we should probably increase the estate tax.
Agree.
Okay, moving on. Socialism. The eye is the lamp of the body. No, it isn't. The eye doesn't emit light whatsoever.
It's a metaphor!
It's the telescope of the body. The telescope. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. And then the light within you is darkness. How great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other.
The superscript D above unhealthy there says that the Greek word for unhealthy here implies stinginess. So
And
essentially,
healthy implies generous.
So they're saying, like, you know, don't be stingy with money. You can only have one master. Don't let that master be
Right.
money.
The last thing is you cannot serve both God and money. Yeah. Do not worry, says Jesus, man who was impaled with several things.
Impaled? Doesn't it?
He was impaled.
Is impaled just being run through in any place in your body? For some reason, I guess I
Never mind.
had conflated it with like skewered, like Vlad the Impaler.
I don't think you need to be like have a wood shoved up your butt all the way to the top of your mouth.
I don't think it's up your butt. I think you'd.
Well, that's what he did.
I think.
Did you know Vlad the Impaler did that? They took people and they had a tapered pole and they set them on it very slowly, and their body weight would pull them down over time, so they were alive.
That sucks.
And then they would end up not being that.
Oh. Yep. I was gonna say structurally, if I was just like if I'm foreman on the impaling grounds or whatever they call it, I guess first day, like okay, we gotta impale this good dude. I would have gone through the gooch because I feel like it's more structurally sound than the butthole.
Well, I mean, eventually because of the taper on it, it gets wider and it rips it right off. So
I'm just saying, I don't want
that gooch just flies right out. Do you know why they did that? Are you privy to the Vlad the Impaler reasoning?
I mean, what do you mean morally?
No. What was the actual reason? So what it was there was an army coming,
and they wanted to be like, hey, back the fuck up.
Maybe. It worked.
If I'm in a European military unit marching their way toward Vlad the Impaler's house, and I see a bunch of people impaled by their buttholes,
well,
I'd probably be like, you know, better to cut my losses. Going AWOL on military, probably still better than being impaled by your butthole.
Do not worry. Therefore, I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more than food and body more than clothes?
Yeah, but life is also just a conglomeration of your experiences, which includes the things you eat. Your
Well, life
health,
objectively
your
can't
looks.
happen without food. You
Sure.
could do it without clothes.
Have you seen those? They call themselves Breatharians. They claim they don't eat any food.
Not for long.
No, they're liars.
Oh.
Because one of them claims they've been doing it for years.
No,
They're a liar.
no, they haven't.
Yeah.
Maybe at night they just like, maybe they have like frog-like skin, and they just like steep in like
No,
like chili.
One of them got caught in their town buying a sandwich one day. So
Don't buy sandwiches if you're trying to say you breathe forever.
I don't get that kind of scam, man.
You breathe. What's the scam? You have nothing to sell besides breathe.
No, they sell like books and like here's how to do it correctly and to get through the hunger pains. But it's honestly in like an idiocracy world kind of a good scam if all the people who try it are idiots. Like why can't I only? Man, I keep failing. I better buy another book and figure out why I can't not eat. It's impossible to succeed unless you die.
Okay, let's start the no poop club.
No poop club.
No poop
you,
club.
me, and Kim Jong Un just hanging out in a room, not shitting.
No poop club. If you poop, you're unhealthy. So no more pooping.
If you're poop, you're out of the
See,
club.
do you know what we do here? We knock the Breatharians right out of here because if you don't want to poop, you better not eat. So
You can only...
they thought they cornered the market. We've cornered their corner.
Okay, you can only join if you've not pooped for 2 days at least. You gotta have at least...
In a row?
Yes.
Yeah,
Obviously
gotta
in a
have pretty-
row.
Well, I mean, just 2 days out of a week is a feat for me.
What's the longest you've ever gone without pooping?
Maybe 12 hours. Maybe 24. It's probably more than 12. Probably like I'm assuming conscious hours. Like we're ignoring sleep.
Yeah, sure.
I bet I was stopped up for a couple days once, but I shit often.
3 days.
3? Oof.
Oof.
I remember once I was constipated as a kid for a little bit, and I had a buddy over whose name was also Jake, and he knew I was constipated because halfway through the day, I was like, I can't shit! And we were kids.
Yeah.
And so that was funny for us, and then after a little bit, my stomach hurt, and I was like, I can't even fart! And then we were going to sleep, and my brother and I shared a room at that time. But he wasn't. He was at a friend's house. So
Okay.
the kid that was staying over, because sleepovers when you're a kid, isn't that weird? Don't sleep over here. You have places to be. And he slept in the room or in the bed on the other side of the room, and I'm just laying there, and it gets real quiet. And I feel a little rumble in my tumbly, and it goes. Just a little pert. And I go, yes! And he laughed for about 30 minutes. It felt so good. That was the best fart of my life. Never had a better one. Never.
That was worth the detour. You're welcome.
Thanks. Don't worry about your clothes. And why do you worry about your clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow? They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that not even Solomon and they're eating. They're literally attached to the ground. They're eating the whole time.
They photosynthesized Jesus.
Come on, Jesus.
The flowers don't have to...
Did Jesus walk around going, I don't know how the fuck those things live? What are they doing?
Jesus!
They don't eat food?
The flowers don't have to care about what they wear because they don't have a job interview to go to pay for food that they need to live.
A Venus flytrap would disappoint Jesus so much. God damn it. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, ye of little... I almost said ye, because it's probably what it is. You of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Oof. Each day has enough trouble of its own. See, that last part's decent. But, so the pagans, by the way, are the Romans, if you're not aware, Judean occupation during that time.
People in Judea, not big fans of the Romans because of the occupation.
Imagine if Canada took over the United States.
Probably wouldn't like Canadians very much. Although if they brought
their healthcare,
I might actually be okay.
Poutine's pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
Mooses are
We're in
large.
Michigan anyway. We basically have the negatives of Canada without any of the positives. So,
Let me just slide on past you there. I have to go jump in the river.
but I don't like the idea of don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll worry about itself.
Yeah, I don't
It's
either.
good not
It's
to.
a nice platitude.
But like at the end of the day, you do need to plan for the future.
Like pooping.
Yeah.
If you don't poop today, you're going to have to poop tomorrow.
So don't have anxiety if you can help it. Trust me, I know that's not helpful advice. You can't just stop anxiety, but you can take steps to try and help mitigate. But at the end of the day, make plans and stuff, And most of that was just, hey, don't don't have worldly needs above spiritual needs, which again makes the entire modern Republican Party in the United States look very hypocritical.
Shocking. Judging others. Do not judge, or you too will be judged. For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged, and with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own? I have always liked this metaphor.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff Jesus says, when you take it as
clever.
a platitude, pretty good. I get it. I get why people were like, this guy has some shit to say.
I mean, a lot of the sayings stick around. Like, a lot of these idioms have gone through.
Yeah.
So whoever wrote this, good job. How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite. First take the plank out of your... Okay, we get it. Do not give dogs what is sacred. Do not throw your pearls to... Okay.
Pearls to swine.
Yeah, if you do, you may tramp... Okay, but why is that tacked on to judging others?
Interestingly, when it says here, do not give dogs what is sacred, do not throw your pearls to pigs, pearls to swine, again being that, later, or did we already cover this? I don't remember if we covered it on video yet. On video, like it's an old VHS camera.
He'll tell the pigs to fuck off with the demons, or what?
No. When, although that is an interesting story, when that woman comes to him and she's, I want to say,
Yeah.
a Canaanite,
You dog, yeah.
and he calls her a dog.
Yeah, that happened.
Again, this sort of using that story in conjunction with this story leads me to believe that the intention of this is pretty much all these commandments are for people in the Jewish community.
Yeah.
Everyone else get fucked.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's obviously expanded over time, and Peter came in and was like, hey, what if everyone was this? But, that's later, after Jesus dies.
Ask, seek, knock. Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Walter White. Which of you, if your son asks for bread, will give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish, will give him a snake? Those aren't fish at all. He sounds like he's doing a John Mulaney stand-up. So I asked him for a fish, and he gave me a snake!
Oh, okay.
Snake.
Sorry, I was thinking of the...
Street smarts! If you then, though you are evil, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your Father in heaven give good gifts to those who ask him? So in everything do to others what you would have them do to you, for this sums up the law and the prophets. See, just say that part and then nothing else, because all that other stuff was shit.
Interestingly, you do say that, and the idiom part that has lived on in the public consciousness. Don't get me wrong, people read the Bible, but as far as the public Western world is concerned, do unto others as you would have them do unto you is the entirety of the message. Over time, as happens with memes, and I'm talking about memes in the Richard Dawkins...
Mimetic sense.
Sure, in the official sense, not in the funny image macro sense. Memes have a way
Memes
of...
have transcended image macros.
Memes have a way of getting rid of the excess over time. A lot like evolution with genetics. You get rid of... and sometimes
Yeah,
you'll
pull
end up-
yourself up by your bootstraps is another good example.
So, all the extra shit that kind of convolutes and doesn't necessarily work in the modern day, over time gets swept away,
Yep.
and you end up with the do unto others. But...
That's a good rule, though. Like, if you're going to put that in a vacuum, like, that's basically Matt Dillahunty's argument for secular morality. I do a good thing to you because that's how I would like to be treated, and that seems to be beneficial for survival.
Sure,
and,
it's going to
cooperation.
depend on... It's going to
He
depend on
delivers
if
it
you're...
differently. But...
It depends on if you're like a consequentialist or if you're like someone who values deontology, which is the concept of morals for their intrinsic value, not based on the consequences. For instance, I could kill this guy and it would save 1,000 people, but I won't do that because murder is wrong.
Killing Hitler.
Whatever, sure.
Ben Shapiro wouldn't kill Hitler. Baby Hitler.
If Ben Shapiro gets a time machine, we have bigger things to worry about than who he's not killing. Can I point that out?
Okay.
Okay, that was epic. Next meme.
The narrow and wide gates. This is for the gate enthusiasts. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate, and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. He'll say this again with like a camel and needle. He'll say the same thing.
Yeah.
This one's better.
Also, the road to the gate is Kool-Aid. That's a Heaven's Gate joke, kids. Google it.
I don't even get that.
Heaven's
Are
Gate?
you 45?
Heaven's Gate
Years
cult.
old?
They drank all the Kool-Aid and injected kids with poison, so they all died.
Jim Jones?
Yeah.
Oh, I knew that. I didn't know they injected the kids with poison, though.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I watched a documentary on it, so I knew that at some point, probably, unless they were just like, the senator died.
No, there were, like, other people, like, adults in the compound, too. Like, they held him at gunpoint and were like, drink it. Like, it wasn't...
Get shot.
It wasn't...
Have them shoot you.
I think part of it was they were threatening their kids, though, too. They were like...
Timmy's fucked anyway.
Yeah, but I assume as a parent in that moment, you're like, it's a 1,000,000 to 1 shot. They're not going to kill this kid, but, like... I don't know. I'm not a parent. I don't care about children.
Please subscribe.
When we switch over to a box fort channel, this is going to get real awkward. We should make a better box fort than that guy just because. Fuck him.
Do you want to?
We don't have enough boxes.
Send us boxes to the P.O. Box.
Please don't do that. That'll take... Oh, if they're flat, I guess it'd be fine. You can ship boxes flat in another box, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to gloss over whatever happened there. True and false prophets. Watch out for false prophets. Moving on. True and false disciples. Watch out for false disciples. Moving on. The wise and foolish builders. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Don't build your house on a rock. It will fall over. That's not how foundations work.
Also, Dwayne Johnson has a lot of things to do.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Ballers Season 4. You know, Arian Foster was in a movie with The Rock?
Which movie?
Baywatch.
I'll never see that Arian, I'm sorry.
Bernadette got to meet The Rock on FaceTime, I think.
You know what's
She was pumped.
I'm
That's his mom.
going to take this moment to take a stand on The Rock.
Ooh, do we not like The Rock?
I don't hate The Rock or anything.
He's the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Did you know that?
I don't like The Rock, though. It's not like I hate him as an individual.
Okay.
I just feel like I'm taking fucking crazy pills anytime anyone talks about The Rock. It's like, oh my god, I love The Rock. He's so great. He's charismatic. No, he's not! He is not! I don't get it. Oh my god, did you see Moana? Yeah, Moana was great. He was the worst part of it. What is happening? He can't sing? Why put him in a musical? He's not charismatic. We need a muscly guy. This one will do. Stop it.
Terry Crews is out there.
Yeah, fuck it. Can we replace Dwayne The Rock Johnson with Terry Crews?
Terry the Rocker. Rockier Crews.
The Cliff. He can be the Cliff.
Cliff.
Terry the Cliff Crews.
That's pretty good, actually. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Cool. We did it. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man whose house is built on sand. The rain came down, the streams... Yeah, we get it. And then it fell over because it was fucking made of that. When Jesus had finished saying these things, the crowds were amazed at his teaching, because he taught as one who had authority and not as their teachers of the law.
Can we talk about that a little bit? Essentially, the Bible is literally saying, and they believed him because he had lots of confidence. He was a man of great confidence. A confidence man, you might say.
Believe me.
So, that's the Sermon on the Mount. Next time, I believe we'll be getting into some more miracles of Jesus. Yeetus that Jesus. That doesn't rhyme.
No, you have to be getting them out of there. No, we'll call
Yeetus that
whether it's
Jesus.
whether it's still a thing or not. When he dies in this book, Yeetus the Jesus.
I don't know what accent would make that rhyme, but I wish I had it.
Yeetus, the Jesus.
Yeetus that fetus. Yeetus that Jesus. A little bit closer.
What? You just you're doing your own thing right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you can. Yep.
You follow us on Twitter at Papa Bird
I
Jake.
said that.
And I was doing my own thing. I was busy.
No, I didn't actually say it.
Oh.
I implied it. They've been here before. You don't start on this episode. They've been around.
Patreon.
If this is your first
P.O. box.
if this is your first episode and you're still here, I'm sorry.
You got a Star Trek reference. You got
I don't know
You got a poop story. You got Jesus.
This isn't how you rope people in.
You got
No one
just doing
No
nonsense.
one watches a random episode of House and goes, "I'm going to go back to the beginning." You start at the beginning.
This is a thumb. I'm out of things to count.
Do you have a bigger thumb than I do? You might. I don't have very big thumbs. You don't have any fingernails.
Yeah, it's gross.
You're like a... what are those? Like a gecko.
I don't know.
Kind of look like a gecko.
I don't know. I gotta
pads?
I gotta stop biting them though.
Well,
That's gonna be stopping post haste.
post haste.
I'm gonna be losing weight. It's gonna be lots of changes.
Lots of them coming!
So until next time, I'm Hugo.
I have purple hair.
Yep.
See you another time.